I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers. Welcome to the future.
The future of Pokemon. It's Pokeuary Gen 4.
I'll move to February. This is the first February edition.
Pokuary. It's a new day. New month.
We got our favorite Pokemon master with us today. Sir.
What's up, boys? Heads up. Teddy and I are sick. Teddy seems to sound a little better than me, but we'll see. I will be hitting the mute button often to expectorate. Look it up.
Expectorate gadget.
Teddy,
And we also have our
bubble.
We have our favorite Pokemon with us.
Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime, yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome to
Talking
Pokuary.
Mime. It's Brian.
Thank you.
From Igotkings. If Brian's Mr.
Yeah.
Mime, who is Mime Jr.?
I didn't know there was a Mime Junior.
You me, right?
I guess.
Are you doing that shit where you're like his son too?
Yeah. Well, he is my biological dad.
Wait,
Okay.
Terry then is Brian's grandson.
Yeah,
Aw.
checks out. Yeah, it checks out.
That makes him like.
I
I
Mime.
remember growing up when we used to play all that Jackal there, Turbo. It was great.
Yeah, Jackal. That was good. But we're going to talk about Jackal today. We're talking about Pokemon. Welcome to 2023, the fourth Pokuary. I know Spencer's excited. Spencer, if you're excited, say nothing. Exactly. And we're ready to jump on in with an episode of Game Talk. So excited.
Before we do any more jumping, where else might the viewers like to jump? Brian.
Yeah,
You
give
can,
You get the plugs to Brian.
you can check out the Button Mappers on the Button Mappers. Look for it on YouTube. Also, you can check out Spencer at RPG Archive. You can check out Alex at Turbo Zone.
We've done it wrong.
I'm not.
Let
I'm
him
not opposed to
let him go for it. See what he has to say.
Keep going, Brian. Keep going.
And you can check out Teddy at Majority.
Where else can they find the Button Mappers?
You can find them on Discord.
Yeah.
You can find them on
Two more. What's there?
but the podcast feed of your choice.
Which ones?
There's the
Two that were on.
podcast. There's the you're not on the pickle.
This is a really good plug.
Google Podcasts.
Oh,
No?
no. One of them is a fruit.
Apple Podcasts.
Okay, and then the other one. This
Um,
one's easy.
You might name your dog.
Spotify.
Ah, there we go. Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like the sound of pickle podcast. Pickle podcast.
Podcast Pickle.
Well, we originally
Pickle podcast.
put that forward and we said video games instead. So that's
Yeah, we were
True.
going to review pickles.
That was our first.
Yeah,
idea.
nice dill
Dude, Matt,
pickle.
that'd be an awesome episode if we just like crunched on pickles into the microphone.
Hmm.
well, we did. Alex, you and I we did cough together. We did a review of beef jerky when we were out in Tennessee.
True, we did.
So that was fun.
That was as close as we're gonna
It
get.
wasn't all. I don't think any of it was beef though. So
Or pickle.
Yeah. We
Some of
some
it tasted like-
pickle jerk.
some of it tastes like nickels.
I like
Pickle
sweet
bag.
pickles.
My girlfriend hates pickles. Like she literally despises them.
Wow.
And I love pickles. I really like the Famous Dave one. It's like spicy, but it's not really spicy, but it's sweet. It has a little bit of a kick. It literally makes her like want to puke, even if I'm eating it around her. It's so bad.
Is it the smell or something? Is it?
I think so. I think it's the vinegar.
You don't think it's like childhood trauma?
Yeah, I think she's had an issue with a pickle once before.
Haven't we all?
Hmm.
Something terrible happened, and then she just saw a pickle. Just ties it together.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your history with pickles?
I like them. They're, I think the pickles I remember tasting as a kid. It's like when I sat down and eat pickle. I never actually ate a lot of pickles as a kid, but I remember those little ones on McDonald's hamburgers as a kid. I liked.
Oh, you lame-o. Ever ate a pickle? You never
But
had sat down and ate a pickle?
I remember the I remember the Clausen Pelican stork.
Yeah.
Clausen pickles are great. See, or however he talked. That wasn't how he talked, but I like pickles. I'm a fan. I like sweet pickles. A lot of people don't like sweet. They prefer the dill, but I like a big dill pickle or a sweet pickle.
How sweet of them.
With a sandwich, a nice
dill?
turkey club. Mm-hmm.
What's the best pickle substitute in a hit song you can think of?
Pickle substitute?
Yeah, like look at this pickle.
If you want to be my pickle,
Oh.
you with my friends.
It's the eye of the pickle. You
that's
can
a good
see
one.
in the jar. It will
If
make
you went with-
Spencer's girlfriend puke.
And
well, if
then
it was, oh, go ahead.
oh, and the next pickle coming will be a sweet or dill, and you'll eat it up with a spoon, like a
It's
liger.
pickle.
Spencer, you don't have to sing it, but you can just name it.
Well, I was gonna say if we're doing like band names instead, it would be an easy one. Pickleback.
Oh, that's good. That's
That
good.
is a good one.
I'm bringing
Stop it
pickle
now.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Them
Yep.
other pickles don't know how to act.
Yeah. Welcome
Yeah.
to Pickle Month. What if we did Pickle Month? That'd be great. Just no content.
None. Literally us just sit here eating pickles.
To like look for like a flash game, like a pickle related flash game or something to play. I don't think Flash is even around anymore. You can't even do that.
You could do the McDonald's hamburger game.
Oh, McKids, right?
Is that it? Wasn't there a Genesis one?
Yeah,
Mick and Mac
Treasureland, I
Global
think.
Gladiators. Oh yeah, and that
And
was-
Treasureland, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I haven't played either,
Either.
however you say it. Yeah.
Maybe.
You tell we haven't been doing a podcast in over a month.
You tell we just came back from a break. Well, here on Game Talk, we like to open it up with some questions, and this is Pokuary. So of course we have some Pokemon related questions. Hopefully, I haven't curated them, so who knows? But leave us questions for next month, which is what?
Eshop Month closing down. R.I.P.
Eshop
Eshop
Month. Yeah, it was an
R.I.P.
eShop related question.
R.I.E. Rest in E.
I don't have the questions up, so
It's okay, I do.
can you ask me one?
Oh, sure. I was just enjoying the silence.
The awkward silence.
Well, the first one comes from Terry309, Cynical Gaming Blog. He gets two questions.
Tentaquill gaming blog.
Yes, the Cynical Gaming Blog. Very Pokuary, Terry. He gets two. He is the president, question master. He's the leader of the Elite Four. He's number 5. So he gets 2 questions. First one, when did you lose interest in Pokemon? If not, then why do you continue to play them?
I can jump in here. Gen 3. It's the first one I didn't beat, and I did try it as well as Pearl. I think I wanted to like it and keep the magic going of Gen 1 and 2, but it just maybe I was just getting too old for it. I don't think they're bad games per se. It's just I think I just got too old.
Would you count like the last one you actually played, or the last, or like the generation where you didn't play? Where's the?
I think to Spencer's point, like the one where you checked out.
Yeah, I was in the middle of Red and Fire, not Fire, whatever,
Sapphire.
the Ruby.
Sapphire?
Yeah, I just remember playing it at a point. I was like, I just don't care anymore, and then
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what to say because like I was gonna say Gen 4, but I played Gen 4, but that's like the last one I enjoyed. So probably, I didn't touch Black or White. So but realistically, like in order of release, I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver were the ones that I played last before I stopped playing Pokemon games for a while.
Yeah.
So if you want to count that,
Well, it's not all black or white, but that's where I stopped. The Gen 4 was the first one I binged. Like I played hours and hours. I remember like it's actually really nostalgic doing it for this month and playing a little game. I've been streaming a little bit, and that has a lot of connections to Gen 4. So it's been a nice month to kind of rekindle some of those feelings. Ooh, the feels.
to hear Brian's answer.
Yeah, Brian, when did you check out of Pokemon?
It was about last summer, I think.
It's also when you checked in, huh?
Yeah, I checked in last summer and checked out last summer. But
The shortest stay ever. welcome to the hotel, Pikachu. Yeah.
Are the button mappers
yeah.
responsible for you playing Pokemon, Brian?
Probably a little bit. Yeah. I was requested it when I streamed to play it. It was my most requested game. I think it was because a lot of people, younger people.
No, it's not your most requested game.
Oh, Gex. Sorry. Yeah, Gex. Yeah. Second most requested. So I finally played one. So I don't have a lot of experience. So I played I played the game I played. I'm going to talk about, and then that was last summer, and that was the last one I played.
To be fair,
plans to play more?
Not at the moment, no. But
you probably played the best one that you could with like that would age well and everything. I think you picked a good one.
Yeah, I kind of think so as well. But I maybe in the future I'll play another one.
Yeah, I think Terry picked a good one for you.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Hey, you Pikachu?
No.
Do you like Switch?
It was Coliseum, I think.
Oh. Okay. I was picking gold, silver, but.
Oh, okay.
He'll be happy to hear you mention Coliseum.
Yeah, he wanted me to play Coliseum. I know.
Terry just had like a little brain aneurysm when you said that. Coliseum.
His ears perked up. What? Coliseum?
What's Terry's second question?
Question 2. When will you map out Pokemon Coliseum? I'm going to ask this question to every Pokémon until you do it.
All right. What's the next question?
That's his 2. Thanks, Terry.
Well, it's not like a mainline Pokemon game, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna have to wait till we get through at least Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, you got you got like 5 more generations to go.
And by then, I mean we probably got like 3 more games, so you know.
Yeah.
Well, then we got spin-offs because it's just part of the spin-off. So I mean, we have to do Hey You Pikachu. That's been agreed on.
You have to do Hey You Pikachu.
So
I don't know who agreed to this, but I'm like
it's the way that it is.
Wasn't me.
Pokepark 2. Do those.
Mm-hmm. Coliseum is down the list, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Coliseum is like below Pokemon Channel.
Yeah.
And Pokemon Home.
But I mean, we'll get there.
In retirement homes by then.
BioPhoenix reviews. What Pokemon from each gen do you think has the worst design? Well, from any gen, I think might be easier.
Oh, okay. I was like, each gen.
Each gen might be too much.
From any gen has the worst design. Okay, there's some stupid looking Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ice Cream Cone is universally agreed on.
Heartfish.
Oh, Love Disc is stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the worst from Gen 1? Grimer? Voltorb, a literal Pokeball?
I would say, like, Seal or something. Like,
it's one of those like Nicki Minaj.
Like, do you ever remember that Seal was a Pokemon? It's a seal.
But that's a naming problem.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it also
cute.
Generally looks like a seal. I think it's very lazy.
Chansey's pretty ugly.
It's the one that looks like Nicki Minaj. What's his name?
His?
Nicki
The
Minaj.
male Nicki Minaj?
Oh, I said it's. What's its name?
The gender neutral Nicki
The
Minaj?
the one that they had to censor because it looked like blackface.
Oh,
Oh,
Jinx?
Jinx.
Yeah.
Jinx, there we go. Yeah, that's probably one of the worst ones. Gen 1.
Jinx is
I
fine.
always liked Jinx. I don't know. I thought Jinx was
Who
kind of cool.
would? But
Wow.
like, okay, cool. That's what you thought.
Yeah, let's just move on from that.
I'm being typecasted now. That's
You can't
That's
win.
how
You
we're
can't
starting-
love it. You can't hate it.
That's
how we're starting the year.
2023.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gonna be a
like
good year.
now we have roles. Spencer.
Brian,
have to
what
get a
do you
flag
think
to
of
put behind
Jinx? Don't answer that. Okay, we'll go to my question.
Well, Brian, maybe Brian's could answer for Gen 2 since that's when he played. What was the stupidest Pokemon you saw?
What was the dumbest one? So,
I was gonna say Jinx actually,
Oh God.
hey,
but
Jinx.
I can't remember. I mean,
Jinx stinks.
but it's been a while since so long. I'm probably forgetting some other ones. I mean, I got tired of seeing Ratatats everywhere, but I don't think
Oh,
it's dumb.
the evolved version. What's it called?
Kate.
Eradicate.
Eradicate. That one
Oh.
always terrifies me when I see it. It's like ah.
You know,
like
I-
some of the renditions and like the early games look
Yeah.
terrifying when it pops up.
Yeah, that's true. It is pretty scary. Raichu has disappointed me. You know what? Some of the earlier ones in the Game Boy games, I think it looked fine, but I think Pikachu looks better than Raichu.
Yeah, I think they do that on purpose.
Stay tuned for ranking sexy Pokemon. Klefki is pretty dumb.
A joke. All right, moving on.
You guys know
Can't wait to
Klefki?
vote-
It's a literal
vote
set
Jinx.
of keys on a
Oh
ring.
yeah, that one's dumb. The Chandelier.
Oh, I kind of like Chandelure. And
Oh no,
Litwick is a poppin' Pokemon.
rubbish.
Shroomish?
Rubish. No, which one's the trash bag?
I never get the name right. It's garbage, whatever.
Arbor stink.
Yeah,
Garbage
garbage trash, like that Pokemon.
Trash.
That's Gen 5. Next year. Stay tuned. Like PS tuned. Ready for the last one? This one's a banger.
Yeah.
Bang me away.
Okay, this one comes from Majority. Which Pokemon do all the men or women want to take to their high school prom?
Ooh.
Jinx.
Choke.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
Yeah, for men?
Yeah, I would take the choke, man. He's ripped.
Hey, that's my bodyguard. Pull a lot of women with Machoke. We'll show you his signature move, Seismic Toss. Brian, who would you take to prom? Which Pokemon?
Chikorita.
You would.
Ooh. Good choice.
Now, do you think Chikorita would yes?
Reciprocate.
If you ask Chikorita from
Chikorita, will you go to prom with me?
Do you feel like when you were playing, you created like a bond with Chikorita while you were playing the game?
I think. Well, since it was I know it's a joke. You're joking, but as
Yeah,
much
why
as you can have a bond with since it was my first Pokemon, I kind of did. Because it was the first Pokemon I ever picked, I kind of did have a little bit of a. When everybody would say she stunk, I kind of stuck by her.
Did you imagine like a scenario where you two would be in a room together and like everyone else left, like all your other Pokemon left for the night? You guys were just kind of hanging around, and Chikorita was like, I mean, I'm not tired, like, and you said I'm not either, and then I don't know. Does that ever come up?
her vine comes over your shoulder.
Yeah.
No, no, I never thought about that.
She cast
did
Sweet
think-
Scent.
Vine
What's
Whip.
happening right now,
I did
Chikorita?
think like, what if I was?
We shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She's a little
I mean,
chick.
I thought.
So
I sometimes if I eat a salad, I thought she'd be judging me, but I don't know.
she is a Chiquita. Chikorita. Her
Yeah.
name's Rita, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rita.
And then
You
you
had a
find
little
out
pet-
it was
you had
a
a-
dude.
Yeah, little pet names for each other. I think that's kind of cute.
Yeah. Well, I'll go Snorlax.
I'm not going to prom with you.
For the women.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, for me, Zapdos.
I kind of wish you would have said Snorlax again.
Snorlax.
Snorlax. No, that's for the women. For me,
Onyx.
Snorlax.
Ooh, Onyx looks like something. He looks like a toy.
Yeah, I got it. Onyx looks like a
Wiener.
like a
Penis.
Onyx. No, that's Diglett.
Oh, that's a popular prom pick.
Trio. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
That's for the
That's
whole
a
gang
little,
right there.
it's a little advanced, I think.
Yeah.
Just start on Diglett,
Yeah.
work your way up.
Drill.
Muck.
Okay.
That's it for questions.
Yeah, what a set of questions.
Don't ask.
Remember,
them.
next month is eShop month. We are, and of course, we're talking about the 3DS and Wii U eShops. They will be shutting down next month, so we're doing a month dedicated to them. Rest in peace. And so, leave us a question related to that. You guys ready for game talk?
Yeah, it's Pokemon month.
Here on Game Talk for Pokeuary, the rules are the game has to be related to Pokemon in some way, shape, or form. It's up to the player themselves to tell us how. Who wants to go first?
I can go first if you want. Usually we have the guests go first, but I'm a little
Nah, I don't want you to go first. I was kidding. Go first, Spencer.
okay. My game was Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Electric.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of XCOM. To those that don't know, XCOM is a tactical RPG, turn-based, but it takes place in like the not too distant future versus aliens, and it's very gory and it's very numbers driven and very difficult. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is basically a complete ripoff of that series, except it's for kids. It's got Mario and it's got Rabbids. Rabbids are like a Ubisoft brand. I think they're with Rayman. And I honestly couldn't really give two shits about the Rabbids part of it. But if you want to relate it to Pokemon, as you go throughout the game, you collect Rabbids and different sparks of hope. And those sparks of hope augment you and give you different abilities and like give you resistances, kind of like Pokemon. So like if you had an electric one, it might make you less resistant or more resistant, I should say, to electricity for your whole team. So the whole point of the game is to build a team that can survive different settings, which means a lot of times switching around your sparks. And it solves the problem of too many numbers by just giving all the main characters a skill tree, and in that skill tree you can just do like a simple. You just put points in as you level up, and it just says like you do 10% more damage with your gun. They could easily do something like this with the actual Pokemon, and it would be more interesting. It'd be kind of like more like Dragon Quest Monsters, Joker. Um, it's really addictive. What I like about this game over XCOM is that a lot of the rounds can usually end in one round, like a lot of the games. So in XCOM, they're usually like an hour long to even attempt to beat, especially as you get further and further in, and you got to be so careful. With this, it's almost a challenge the exact opposite of how quickly can you beat it. And oftentimes it's literally one character can sweep the board. And that's part of the puzzle for it. So definitely a lot more friendly for children and a lot more appreciative of your time. So I really, really enjoy the series. It's certainly for kids. There's cutscenes in it that, you know, they're kind of cute, but you know, for us, they're for children.
Mm.
But it's a lot of fun. And if you like the first one, it's the major difference between this and the first one is that they've eliminated the square grid-based system that they had, and it's more free range. So it's really interesting technology to see and how they were able to make it still so intuitive, even though there's no grid. I mean, there technically is a grid, but they've been able to mask it so you don't really see it. So really, really awesome game. Took me. I'm on the last world. I haven't officially beaten it because I got sick like right when I was trying to complete this thing. But I would say it's probably like 20 to 30 hours, maybe around 20.
Nice.
And certainly if you want to collect everything, it'd be a little more than that. But great game.
Man, I really liked that first game. I'm also a huge XCOM fan. The issue that I had with the first game, though, was that it felt like the worlds themselves that they went through like lasted a little too long. Have you noticed anything like that with this one?
Um, I don't know. I don't think they've lasted too long. I never got to a point where I was kind of rolling my eyes like I have in other games, especially RPGs. They've definitely done a different thing with how the map works. So you actually literally travel to different planets instead of being on like a hub planet, and you access new things from there. So I don't know. I just think that each one feels different and vibrant enough, and you learn new stuff at each one that it never became a problem of like getting too bored.
How was
We
the
all did themselves.
strategy elements?
Well, the strategy elements are way dumbed down for children. See, in XCOM, it uses what's called cover. Like that's kind of what the whole game is based off of is cover. So you're hiding behind a wall, and obviously that will theoretically protect you from people shooting at you. Because this is a shooting game essentially. Uh, where this game differs from that is in XCOM, it's literally down to like it's not uncommon to see like 92% chance to hit. And then like depending on all these different variables and like if it's a half thing, it's like you may have a bunch of things that interact with that makes it like 32% chance to hit. This game does away with all that. It's 100%, 50% or 0. And it's if it's a medium thing, it's a 50% chance. If it's a tall wall that you're behind, it's 0%. And if you're out in the open, which you should never be, but things happen, then it's 100% chance. So different characters have different guns. So Mario has a shooter. Princess Peach has like a huge shotgun, which is kind of weird to think about that way, but she does. And then Bowser has like a big bazooka, and that's my squad, by the way, is Mario, Peach, and Bowser. And they all have different abilities that they can use within each other. But I mean, every character is viable, and I like those people, and I don't really care for the minions, so I don't use them.
Hmm.
I'm sure they're still viable as well, but to me, it's just a Mario RPG.
Okay.
But there's also some minions in it.
Yeah, the first game I used like Mario and Luigi because he sniped, and then Rabbid Luigi because he sniped. So I just had two snipers.
Yeah.
But I in the first game I really enjoyed how like bouncy and playful the characters were. Like you could kind of like chain them together to like do attacks or like to get extra reach across the battlefield and stuff. Is there still sort of like that element?
Oh yeah, yeah. So you can like every character can innately slide. So when you're running up to an enemy, you can slide into them, and it does damage, and it also knocks them up. Characters like Mario or Luigi have the Overwatch ability, which in XCOM the Overwatch ability meant if a target came in sight, they could shoot them if you use the ability. So like if Mario uses Overwatch and then somebody gets knocked up, once they're in like a visibility range, Mario can just automatically shoot them, which is really nice. And they can also jump off of each other. So like Peach can run up to Bowser and jump on his head and then like fly for a little bit to a different location. There's a lot of different ways you can interact with each other, and that's again how they kind of limit the turns to even one. If you know what you're doing, you can like have Peach jump off somebody's head, go to a different place, slide into people, have
Yeah,
Overwatch
go
abilities.
through a pipe, right?
Which
Yeah.
character did you get the most satisfaction jumping off their head from?
Um, Well, I don't I don't know. That seems mean, but I would say I liked Peach is my favorite character because her tree allows her to have longer hang time. So when she jumps off a head, she can literally stay up for like almost an entire movement space. And then she has two slides. So she became just a powerhouse of a character.
Yeah.
That I beat several with only her.
Okay.
So,
Electric slide.
but yeah, it was an electric slide because I gave her
Wow.
a spark that had electricity. So it shocked everybody that it hit. So ironically, it was an electric slide.
How about Cha Cha?
Ironically, it was a cha-cha. No, I'm just-
Cupid Shuffle.
no, it was a Cuban shuffle.
It's Cupid Shuffle. So in terms of the narrative, how is it? Because I know in the first game it's just sort of like Mario, but there's Rabbids there now, and things it's just getting silly.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It
Still
was-
nothing.
They introduced some new characters, and there's a whole shebang about finding the new ones and restoring this or that. I don't know. I'm not. It doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, still.
I'm not there
like,
for it.
I feel like if you throw Rabbids into any sort of RPG, it's just going to become like screaming and
Oh, yeah.
nonsense.
It's utter nonsense. I'm not gonna follow your story. There's no point. But no, it's perfectly fine to play it with not know the story. It's guided in a way that you can't not know what to do.
Brian, do you have any interest in the Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope? You're muted. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've seen it. I'm not really big into like tactics strategy games, but I'd give it a shot, sure. Do you think I should start, if you had to pick one game to go by, the first one or this one, which would be the good one for somebody just starting, not good at tactics games, but wants to jump into it?
If you care about the story for some reason, then you'd probably want to pick the first one because this one does not help you at all with understanding that there are Rabbids and also Mario in the same world. It does not. It's not like, hey, remember? It doesn't do any of that. So you probably want to play the first one, but this one is definitely an improvement over the first one. First one's great though.
Okay.
First one's really
It's a
good.
good thing though, right?
Wait.
Like it's a good thing there's not like a Kingdom Hearts style narrative.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome though.
Well, one of the Rabbids does show up in a 3DS game called Rabbids 3000 to 1. So you'd have to play that as well.
Yeah, you gotta play through that. Yeah, and then there's a rabbit that gets split into 3 different beings.
Right.
And
Well,
they're
yeah.
all
That's
different
common.
colored rabbits.
That's common knowledge. I mean, everyone knows that.
One's Zabid, one's Rabix, and one's Rabxid.
Yeah.
And there's an organization of 15 different rabbits.
Yeah. I mean, I would play all those first, I guess, if you're trying to get everything.
Is Grant Hope did the music for the first one? Do you know if he came back for this one?
I definitely played this with the sound on.
Oh, missing out, man. He does. He's the rare guy, man. He was always like
I-
the banjos and stuff.
I played it with sound on for a little bit just to get the feel for it. It's when I'm playing on the Switch, it's generally in handheld mode, and there's generally something on the TV, so it
Okay,
goes off.
that is a good like TV game. Like the first one was for me at least.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, you don't have to focus too much.
True.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, who's next?
I'll let you pick.
Okay, Brian.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about Pokemon Heart Gold. It's a Pokemon game, my first Pokemon game.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Thank you.
No
Thank
longer
you.
a Poke Virgin.
Yeah.
You broke
No
your
longer.
Pokecherry.
Yeah. Ew. Yeah. That's what Alex said, but not disgusting.
I said cherry. I could have said Hyman.
Well, okay, we'll stick with cherry. That's better than what the second option.
Which one's the
So
second one? Is it Hyman?
the H word, yeah, that one.
The H one?
Yeah,
that
that
one?
one.
Hyman?
Paul Hyman, yeah. So I don't know if you want how. I mean, everybody's here played a Pokemon game, so you know. But to me, it was new, kind of new. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of stuff. I'll keep it short. I liked how it started. You kind of like just wake up and you just meet this guy, Professor. I don't know if it's Oak or it's some other guy. He's named after a tree, and then he gives you this like egg, and you have to take care of it. You take it to the town over, and you meet this jerk who's always harassing you during the game, and he's like your rival. So basically, but before that, you got to pick a starter, and I didn't realize how much people are passionate about picking a starter in these games.
Oh.
So I've never been so put off of a series than I was after hearing people like second guess my choice of picking Pokemon. So I picked the grass starter, and apparently grass is not a very well liked starter. I think for that game you want to pick either people recommend the fire starter, who is I can't remember who the fire starter for that game. Who is it?
Cyndaquil. And the professor is Birch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the other one was water, which was
Totodile.
Yeah, it's Totodile. Yeah, thank you. So I picked the Chikorita, and I think the game, from what I understand, was a lot harder picking that starter because a lot of the weaknesses they could hurt you a lot with your grass. Because I found this game pretty hard, which I always was surprised because I always heard Pokemon was easy, and I found this very challenging. And I think there's like I don't know what the game came with, but I don't know if it came with like a chart that tells you all the weaknesses because I had a hard time remembering what was weak to what. I could remember some things, but it took I didn't start getting the weaknesses until the very end when I had to grind in the very last gym area to do the Elite Four or whatever. So I had a hard time around the middle part of the game because when they started throwing different types of Pokemon at me, I forgot what was weak to what, and I still don't really 100% know. So I think this game is very deep. It surprised me how deep it was because you have to really know those weaknesses. And I think that was, if you were a kid playing this game, I think that's like 9-10 years old. I think that's a very good thing because it's not just like a mindless game. There's a lot of thinking you got to do to it, to what weakness goes against what. There was a lot of people that you'd help throughout the way, and they'd give you their cell phone number. I think if I ever played this again, I just not take the cell phone numbers because they always would call you up and say, "Hey, you know, you're pretty cool. Well, why don't you stop by and we'll battle?" And I guess I understood you could go fight them. I didn't find out until later you can fight them for experience. So it was a way to grind a little bit if you needed to. But it just got to be kind of annoying. There was this one guy I met. He kept talking to me about his Radichu or something. I forget his name. He was like one of the first guys, but he always talked about his rat Pokemon. He was really proud of it. I like the bike. I didn't know that you got a bike in this game you could pedal around in. That was cool. And I played this. I think it was pretty cool, but I always forgot to use it. I like the look and sound of this game. The pixel art's amazing. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Turn-based battle was great. It's just I had a hard time, like I said, picking up the weaknesses of the Pokemon. There's a nice twist at the end where I guess, from what I understand, the Gen 1 Pokemon Red, Blue, the bad guys from their Team Rocket came back, and you go into their underground lair, which is kind of cool. And you find out after that they're trying to come back. If I got that right, I don't know if I did. Sorry. And then the end game was I had to grind pretty much a lot up to a higher level to actually have a chance at the boss rush at the end. But overall, it was a fun game. I'm glad I played it. My next Pokemon, I would like one more thing. I didn't like the TMs. I thought that was garbage. How you had to give up an ability to get an ability.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It makes me second guess my choices all the time, and you almost have to keep like a Pokemon in the bank just to have your stuff that you want to use. So I didn't like that. I don't know in later ones. I want to play. If I do play another one, it's going to be one that doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So that was really didn't care for that. So that was my first Pokemon experience. Very deeper game than I thought, and great music, great. Like there was a ton of Pokemon I didn't get either, but capture. So I basically just stuck with my main one, Chikorita, and then I had I think I got around 8 or so other ones, maybe 8 or 10, that I really used.
Mm-hmm. Well done, Brian. Oh, I wanted to ask, because you said that you're getting kind of lambasted for your starter Pokemon. Do you regret playing it on stream, or do you think that was better for you?
No, I regret playing it on stream. I should have played it off of stream.
I got similar vibes playing Arceus on stream one day when Maltamaster and Terry basically were just spending the entire stream shitting on the game. And I was like, way to just taint my experience, guys.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, the problem is there's a lot of people out there that's very passionate about Pokemon, and
yeah,
they want to put their 2 cents in, whether it's helpful or not.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's just that I guess when you stream, you're subjecting yourself to like people doing that, and like that kind of sucks.
And especially, I understood that, so it's my fault completely. But having known that, I wish I could have went back to. If had I known it would have been that deep of a game, I would have liked to. I didn't feel like I could have sunk my teeth into it as much as I would have liked to.
Well, Brian, I have to commend you. I hear you all the time on your show, constantly telling people, "Don't tell me what to play, like don't tell me how to play or whatever." And that takes balls, and I like that. So I commend you for that. You picked a shitty starter. That's you look like an idiot for that, but. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that it's good. It's good on you for not taking that shit. Those people that obsess that much about Pokemon probably have some form of arrested development, and probably have failed to grow up properly. Picking the right starter, I get it as a joke, but you are literally hounded about that kind of stuff for hours on end. Like it's that stuff's nonsense, and I commend you to even though you say you shouldn't have done it on stream. I commend you for doing it anyway. That's hard. I played many RPGs on stream, and I start them, and then people start talking, and I say nope, and then I leave, and then I just can't. So you have a special talent.
So, thank you. I mean, it was kind of fun too, but after a while, because I really wanted to enjoy it. Maybe on a second playthrough I could have did that, but on a first playthrough. But it's my fault for doing it, so I'm not blaming anything. I'm just saying, had I known what I know now, I would have actually maybe did that my second Pokemon playthrough on there, and that way I know what's going on.
I think what's important though is it was a good stream. So while there were conflicts and everything, I think you did an awesome job, and it was really watchable and fun. So that's a credit to you.
Thank you.
Gex was better, but yes, I agree.
That's obvious, yeah.
Gex was terrific. Holy shit.
Thanks. Thank you.
That was a night to remember. It was legendary.
Best night of my life.
I'm still a Metal Gear Solid guy. That stream of Metal Gear Solid literally changed my life. I think.
Oh, dude, that was amazing. That was it got me through an entire night of work from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. just watching Brian suffer through Metal Gear Solid, because it was 5 a.m. and I come back because I would leave to go work for a little bit, and I would be okay, I have a little break, I'll check back in, and it's 5 a.m. and he's still playing fucking Metal Gear Solid, and I'm like, this is a madman.
I wish you would label the streams a little more closely, because sometimes I try and go back and watch them. It's just game stream 417.
Oh yeah, and that's if I'm
Because I was looking for your Mega Man one, because I was playing Mega Man 1 after you played it. Oh yeah, I'll just play it. And I was just hunting through the hour marks of your stream, hovering over the times, and it's just impossible to find.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I mustn't have tagged it proper, because it was in one of those streams where I played a few games.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something what would you call that? A personal thing I would like to see. But yeah, Echo the Dolphin was it for me. That shit was fun.
Awesome, I think I was going insane at the end of that one.
May not be the last to hear of Echo. But yeah, good on you. You beat a Pokemon game.
Yeah, it's good. Glad I did it.
Let me go next.
And who's going next?
I'll go next. Me. It's supposed to be you, but may I?
Well, no, Brian's picking. Brian has to pick.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Teddy.
Hey. Well, I've been streaming Pokemon lately, and I thought, what better way to celebrate Pokuary than to boot up my DS and play one of the most popular selling games in Nintendo's lifespan. Nintendog's best friends. I picked a golden retriever, and I tried to name it a Pokemon, something like approximate, so I called it Psyduck. You have to talk into the DS and say the name of the dog, so I'd be like, Psyduck, and then it would turn and be like, woof. And that's when I closed the game and I started playing Pokemon Arceus again because I had played fucking Nintendogs. There's no secret, I've been really digging deep into Pokemon Legends Arceus. Me and Spencer are going to talk about it soon on his channel, RPG Archive. So I don't want to say too much, but I will say this is perhaps my favorite Pokemon game I've ever played. It addresses a lot of the concerns that Brian had brought up about like TMs and HMs. There's none of that. You can change your moves freely from any Pokemon on your team menu. You don't lose them. You can go back to them. There are no TMs. In some ways, it's a more simplified version of your typical Pokemon experience. And also, like the ways that it's simplified is like, one, is the TMs are easier. There's no HMs. You can like ride Pokemon like in various ways, and like this is really like this kind of like, it's not totally open world. It's not Breath of the Wild style, but you have like basically like 5 open areas that you can explore with tons of different Pokemon roaming the land. And you're kind of like a hunter-gatherer. It takes you back to simpler times in the Sinnoh region, which is Gen 4. It's a lot of Gen 4 representation. You start off the game, the first Pokemon you see, aside from your starters, are Bidoofs and Starlies. Dumbest freaking Pokemon, but it's just funny seeing it. And Spencer had brought up that to get through this, he had to retrain his brain to like how he plays Pokemon game. And that's very much true. Within the first hour, I was like, figuring out what I'm doing. Like, you're supposed to be going like crouching in grass and throwing Pokeballs at the back of Pokemon when they're not facing you. It's like a stealth game. It's really cool. And it benefits your whole party. You should be catching multiple Pokemon. Each one has research entries. You're basically a field researcher. You're discovering the first Pokemon in this world. And you have to complete challenges, like find out what they're weak to or see them use certain moves. And it's really rewarding. It's rewarding in terms of like XP and stuff for the party, but also it's just like getting the dex entries. It feels like a earned challenge. It's not, in the previous games, it's as simple as like just catch a Pokemon and then you get the dex entry. No, you have to actually learn about them. Everything feels kind of earned here. Even like finding like a rare Pokemon just wandering the wildlands is really cool. And then I also like this kind of immediacy about it. So you throw your Pokeball at the Pokemon and then you just catch it and you just move on. There's no nicknaming. There's no read the dex entry. There's no, would you like to fight? There's no cutscenes. It's just fluid action. Now, is there room for improvement? Absolutely. It's, you can see there's pop-in effects when you're flying across the terrain and grass starts like appearing on one half of the screen but not the other. But it's not nearly as bad as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Another thing is it does use the XP share system, so your whole team is leveling up at the same time. I actually don't mind that because if you turn that off, which I don't think you can, this game would easily stretch out from a 25-hour game to like 100 hours, which are you really playing a Pokemon game for that long? There's like these huge Pokemon on the field, so like I know for Alex you liked with Sword and Shield kind of the open area. It's basically that like times 5. And it's a really significant game. Arceus has always been kind of like a mythological kind of creature within the series. You couldn't even catch him legitimately in the States, in North America, because the event was canceled for like Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. So to have a whole game that's focused on Arceus is actually really significant. I found that this game kind of went under people's radar. They just never got it, and they never really talked about it. They really focus on mainline games for some reason. But it's really a missed opportunity because or like for fans, because I think it does some of the things the best that I've ever seen in the series. It's just so much fun going around, exploring, finding new Pokemon, catching them, seeing them in action, picking your team. And it's different. It's unique, but I really like it.
The time of recording this, I haven't played Scarlet and Violet yet, or this game, so I'm curious. I guess my point of reference would be Sword and Shield. But how does the narrative of this game stand up to the current Pokemon narratives, at least in terms of Sword and Shield? Because I think that game had a bit of a weak narrative.
Oh, this is a concrete framework. It's not that I think you'll make any big attachments to any characters, and I mean, there are some cliches, but I think that the premise is really cool. You get dropped out of the freaking sky in the first cutscene, and you end up in this like Japanese feudal town, and everyone looks at you as kind of a foreigner. And so you have this kind of stigma, but you join this like security corps where your job is to help them investigate and research Pokemon to learn to live with them, because they're living in fear of them, of fucking Bidoofs, you know, like of these stupid beavers. And it's funny, but it's also it's really like a novelty. And like in the beginning, there's a bit of exposition and like a lot to read. I was doing it on stream, so I was reading it aloud, so it actually took longer. But then once that drops, you're basically free to roam. And I think the premise that you are a researcher is a solid framework. So I think narratively it holds up. It's not the most mind-blowing, of course not. It's a Pokemon game, but it's good. Believable, I guess, you know? Yeah, like I can immerse
it sounds
myself
like it
in
gives
this.
it sounds like it gives you more of a reason to care than in Sword and Shield, where it's just like, your best friend's here and his brother is a guy and now there's an evil dude or something.
Yeah, basically. There's some of that, but it's not to the extent where that's the main freaking thing you're thinking about.
Okay.
Eddie, I obviously don't want to ask you too much because we're going to have a little discussion about it. But just as an offhand, I know you have some interesting opinions. What is your thoughts on them talking about this is Breath of the Wild for Pokemon?
No, definitely. Well, I mean, like you can see the inspiration. Like it's clear that like they adopted or adapted the Breath of the Wild formula, but it also feels formulaic in some extents. So, I mean, one, it's for some reason Nintendo or Game Freak is getting a little bit lazy with how much money they're actually putting into these. You can see like the frame rate of some Pokemon. Like I think of some like a Staravia flying, and then like you see 3 frame pixels. You know, it's wing down, wing mid, wing up, wing mid. It's really funny seeing that. So from a technical level, I actually don't think it's as impressive. You see Pokemon, like I began to notice this after like hour maybe 20 or 30. They're plotted very specifically on the grid. A very specific amount of space away from each other. And you can tell that that's just kind of like, I don't know if that's lazy programming, but it's very specific programming. And then, obviously it's not one big world. You do have to go between worlds, but it's like 5 big worlds in a hub. So it's not Breath of the Wild per se. But I also don't think it's trying to be like, get the shrines or pick which path you're going to go. I think this is very much a Pokemon experience.
I agree.
Any questions?
Not questions per se, but it seems interesting. I watched a little Teddy stream this, and I like the look of it. I didn't find the graphics look bad. I thought they looked pretty good. And I like the idea that, like Teddy said, you could select what skills you wanted on your Pokemon in the menu. I like that all the time, so it gets rid of the TMs I was talking about. And I like that you said, like, it's like before they learned how to tame Pokemon, they're like all scared of them. I like that kind of aspect of it. So it looked interesting. I wish I could have caught more of it.
Yeah, I think it's actually really attainable too. Like if you do play a future one, I think this one's honestly worth trying. There's, I didn't finish the simplifications, but there's no held items. There's no abilities, so you don't have to be thinking about all this stuff. It's just the type matchups. Also, for you, this is really good. It tells you what moves are effective, super effective, or not effective to Pokemon on the field, even if you haven't seen them.
I like that.
Yeah. And
Oh,
that's
to
all
me-
I want to say for now on Arceus. We'll be back to talk about it later.
All right.
I guess that's the show, everybody. See you
What?
guys. Wait a second. I haven't gone yet.
Alex,
Everybody.
I choose you.
Yeah, Alex. That's me as a
amazing.
Pokemon.
Soundbite.
We made
clipped.
one of them Pokemon.
I'm Alex.
I'm Alex. Alex, use Arby's.
Pickle juice.
I here today to talk about my pick for Pokuary 2023. You think this 4 years in we would start running out of stuff to talk about, but I just keep finding new things that remind me of Pokemon. Back in August, my mom, for my birthday, got me this Evercade. I've been playing it a lot. It has little cartridges you buy for it. Like I got one in here that's a Data East collection. Playing some Data East games in it. And it has the cartridges usually have retro titles from like publishers like Capcom, Atari, whoever, Data East. But sometimes they put out collections of indie games. So here is the Indie Heroes 1 collection. And I'm going to talk about one particular game on this collection. It has 14 games, but the game I'm talking about was originally a Game Boy homebrew game called Quest Arrest. Quest Arrest is based, its like framework is basically based on Pokemon, on like Gen 1 Pokemon. I'm going to read you the plot synopsis and then I'll talk about the gameplay. This is off TV Tropes. The game has you play as Allison Bennett, a policewoman who has recently been promoted to detective. Thing too, because the city you work in is experiencing a serious crime wave at the hands of a criminal gang led by the mysterious Athena. So, in Quest Arrest, which is only about an hour, 2 hour experience, basically an RPG, but you play as a policewoman. Not only do the visuals themselves look like Pokemon, but the gameplay also kind of has Pokemon feel, and I will explain that with the combat. First things first, though, you are going around the city and you're solving crimes. I was kind of surprised by some of the language in this game because they say things like fuck, and it threw me off to see like Pokemon looking graphics and then like somebody be like, he's fucking dead, and I'd be like, holy shit. But yeah, you solve murders, or there's like a building that's on fire, you have to save people, or there's like things like just like things like that all around the city. There's a whole spree of crimes happening that you have to solve. I dropped my case. That you have to solve, and whenever you interact with a criminal, that's where the game becomes Pokemon. It looks like a Pokemon screen. You have the same, four type of choices, and it looks like the robber's up top, you're in the bottom, and the game's interesting because you have two outcomes for how you play the game. You could be a good cop or a bad cop, and how that's determined is how the citizens view you. Now, to be a good cop, you want to arrest the criminals. To be a bad cop, you want to kill the criminals. So while you're battling, you have a few different choices. You can club the enemy, you can tase the enemy, and you can shoot the enemy. This is where it uses the Pokemon mechanics very interestingly, because you know how in Pokemon you want to weaken an enemy to catch them, right? In this game, you want to weaken a robber to arrest them. But you don't want to do it too much, because then if you kill them, you'll be perceived as a bad cop. It uses the catching gameplay from Pokemon in an interesting way to kind of move it into more of like this field of being a policeman and catching robbers. And other than that, the game is a quirky little fun title. Like I said, it's only like a couple hours long. I had a lot of fun with it, and I was happy to play through it on my Evercade. I'll drop my case. Where the hell?
This might be this might be asking a lot, but does it have a Knights of the Old Republic style system of your choices affect the characters down the line?
No, it's just two outcomes. It's just like they'll either start seeing you as like, hey, you're helping us, or like, holy shit, you're killing all the criminals, and you're the bad cop. So it's not that deep, but there is two story outcomes. So, or
like as the game progresses, do the characters respond to you that way? Depending on
yeah, characters
that's pretty
that you
cool.
previously talked to they'll say like, "Hey, you're the one helping to clean up the city. That's pretty cool." Or I haven't played the bad cop route yet, so I don't know what they say in that scenario. But they do change dialogue based on which one you're choosing.
That means they had essentially doubled the text boxes, which, knowing my knowledge of Dragon Quest, it's definitely a thing.
And this guy
Memory.
was sorry. This was developed by one guy. I should probably have his name up, and I think it's like John Rue, not to be confused with John Woo. That'd be a different game. John Rue. So it's one guy, and the game itself is short and small, and I think that's wise because probably because he had to program like two separate things and characters acting two separate ways for the entire game. Um, and again, one dude made this game, so it's pretty cool.
Nice. What is it? 8-bit, 4-bit?
On a Game Boy. It was originally a Game Boy game. The version included on this collection is still a Game Boy game, but I think it's like a Game Boy Color version. There's actually hold on, I actually have this collection came with stickers of like a bunch of different characters, and the one right here, the little girl in the top corner next to the flea, she's the main character of Quest Arrest.
Okay.
But it's a Game Boy game. You can actually get Game Boy cartridges of it, but the version I played was a special colorized version.
How does it look compared to Pokemon?
Looks like Gen 1 Pokemon. If you look at a video, it looks like you're Gen 1 Pokemon almost. They do manage to make the characters look a little goofy. I loved whenever you found the dead body as for one of the crimes, and you had to like it zoomed in to the dead body, and you had to like investigate like the bullet holes or like find things in its pocket. And it's still like an up close Pokemon looking sprite. It looked goofy as hell, but it was super fun.
What does the Evercade cartridge play on?
The Evercade. This is the Evercade.
Oh, I see. You showed it to me. I just
Yeah, and then the cartridges go in the back, and then they have different games. Like I said, this one's like the one I have in is the one I've been playing, which is like a Data East collection. But yeah, you just buy. They sell them for like $20 a pop per collection, and they all have like a bunch of different games on them to play.
Do you like the Evercade?
But yeah, I've been having a great time playing. I mean, like I said, I got it back in August, and I still play it. I like to play it a lot before like bed. It's a nice little console to wind down with and a game.
Has the LED on it?
Good. It's good.
Okay.
They do have a new updated one they came out with recently, which is the Evercade EXP. It's a lot fancier, but I've been content with my first model, Evercade. I've been playing games. Like recently for Christmas, I got the Toa Plan collection, so I've been playing Toa Plan games on it.
Cool.
But that was Quest Arrest. If you're into quirky little indie games and want something that uses the mechanics of Pokemon in an interesting way, go for it. Brian, you got any questions?
Yeah, so it's turn-based. I'm sorry if you said this. It's turn-based combat, right? Okay. And you don't when you catch the criminals, like you weaken them. Do you like shoot them, or how do you weaken them?
You have like I forget the attacks exactly, but I think you have like a club, you have a taser, or you have a gun, and each one obviously does a different amount of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to go for the good cop ending, you're going to want to weaken them without killing them. So obviously, if you shoot them, twice, they're probably going to be dead. So you got to try to get them down without killing them.
And then, do you catch them? You just put them in like jail afterwards?
Yes, and there actually is a prison where you can go back and talk to them.
Okay.
And they'll either it'll help you progress the story sometimes, or they'll just be like, "You fucking bitch," like you caught me when I was burning down the factory or something.
And this is available on the Evercade and also on PC. Is it free, or can you give the guy some money for it?
I don't. I mean, well, you can buy they sell actual Game Boy cartridges of this game too.
Okay.
You can get it for the Game Boy.
You can download it too somewhere, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you can download it somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I just know it because I bought this little indie collection on the Evercade, and it was one of the games.
Brian, what are you trying to say? You can download it.
Can you buy it from the developer?
Yeah, but you're gonna download it? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was just wondering if anybody was interested and they didn't have an Evercade, how could they go about purchasing it?
Without paying for it.
No,
you're gonna just download it, and some guy worked really hard on it. John Woo worked really hard on this game, and you just spit all over him by downloading it illegally.
John
That's
Brew.
not what I said. I didn't say that. I said, where would you give this guy? I specifically said,
If
where
you
can you
go
play this
to
film?
okay, hold on. If you because I want to really, I actually want to shout this out for if if somebody wants to get it.
Yeah.
On the retrogames.com or retrogames.com, you can actually buy a Game Boy cartridge for $35 complete in box from the developer John Rue, and it looks like it's Game Bro, and it has a little cute little cover. It says John Rue instead of
Okay.
Nintendo at the bottom. So you can actually buy a cartridge if you want to. I don't know about the other stuff though.
It is available on Google Play, or
Yeah.
it says just install.
Free
Doesn't have a
99,
price.
huh?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't see
so you can get
anything.
it for free.
Yeah, but I guess you can.
cheat John Rue. Hopefully John Rue got some. I'm sure he
Yeah.
got some money out of me buying this Evercade cartridge.
Yeah.
Well, legendary director John Woo's first entry into
Game
video
Boy.
games, and you just
I
can just
wasn't
steal it.
saying. I wanted to
I
see.
wouldn't-
I didn't know where you could buy it because I
You
don't have
do-
an Evercade. I wanted.
you-
If I was interested, where do I go about getting it? I would never said steal it. I don't advocate that for somebody who put their hard money into it.
You
I
do
wanted to
you,
see
Brian.
Where you could buy it from this gentleman, John.
You do you. More like woo do woo.
Also,
I can't tell if it's the fever or you that's making me sick right now.
Oh,
honestly.
God.
He rues
Hey,
the day.
You're making me want to choose Bad Cop, Brian.
Uh-oh.
Is that Data East collection? Is Joe and Mac on there?
Mike too.
Okay.
That's why Magical Drop too. Before we started, I beat it. Spencer showed up, and I was like, "Spencer, I beat a Magical Drop too," and he was like, "I don't know what that is."
There's no Joe and Mac, or there is the second one?
There is Joe and Mac too. I said Joe. And Mac.
Oh, I think it's
Okay,
in Magical
breakfast.
Drop 2.
All these
Joe
little
and Mac.
see the shelf behind me.
Yeah.
These are my Switch games, but these are like the maroon ones. Those are my Evercade cartridges. Which
Okay.
is
Oh, I thought I was
there's
wondering.
one
that
missing
they're all
because
red.
it's this one that I got out of the shelf.
You got Karnov on that collection too.
I don't know. Maybe
You have a whole
A few
shelf
different.
of Evercade?
I have just some games right here.
Oh,
Just
some.
those-
I was
those-
gonna say. Damn.
yeah,
Do you
those are
have-
my Evercade.
Do you have Uncharted on Evercade?
Yeah, Spencer?
Nathan Drake on his first adventure.
It's just charted.
Evercade. Yeah,
Oh,
they
it's-
put a whole PS3 game. Actually, surprisingly there are some PS1 games that are playable on the Evercade. I was surprised because I thought it was just gonna be like 16-bit, 8-bit and stuff.
Yeah.
But few cartridges have like PS1 games, and it feels so weird playing it on there because it looks like a retro console.
The only game I played on the Evercade was God of War. It was the PS4 one.
Yeah,
And I was-
on the Evercade on this thing. You want to play God of War 4 on this thing?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed that they were able to get all that into that thing with limited buttons and everything.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's a wonder system. I'm waiting for the Evercade XL DI. I think that's when it's going to take off for me.
They're actually the new one, the EXP. Actually, the only thing that I really want to buy it for is because the games like on the Total Fan Collection, like the shooters, there actually is a tape mode where they have buttons on the side here, like here, and you turn it sideways and play it like in the correct aspect ratio of like a spaceship shooter, like you would in the arcade, and that's pretty neat. But it's not like $150 neat when I have this, so it's like maybe later neat.
So what are some Toa Plan games, shooters that they made?
Truxton.
Sorry, this is what's that? Oh, Truxton.
Zero Wing and
Oh, yeah,
Alcon.
okay.
Yeah, Flying Shark, Alcon. Also has Guardian and Snow Bros and Techie Packy.
Okay, I've heard of Snow Bros.
Snow Bros for the game, bro.
Bro. Yeah, bros for the game, bro.
Double the bro.
Eddie
Double
versus
the
Spencer.
schmo.
Who's sicker?
Spencer.
think
Have a sick
Spencer
off right
is.
now.
Once we stop filming, I'm going to go to sleep immediately.
What was if you guys were battling right now, what would your attacks be? As Pokemon. Like, as
Snot
sick
bubble.
Mine would be more of a cough. Coughing. That would be him. Whatever his moves are.
Coughing's pretty
Smog.
Pokemon.
dumb.
Just...
I
Whoa!
lo-
You just
I-
called Spencer dumb.
I love coughing and I love wheezing. I think they're really cool.
Weezer.
I love Weezer. Weezer's
Weezer does a
my
lot of
favorite band.
wheezing.
It's like Buddy Holly.
I love Coffer.
Oh, Harry Tyler Moore.
You know Coffer? Anyway, what's a
My name
Weezer
is
song?
Jonas. Name's
Buddy
Jonas.
Holly.
Holly. My name is Jonas.
Beverly Hills. That's their
Yeah,
best
yeah,
song,
Beverly-
easily.
Beverly Hills.
Pork and Beans.
Island in the Sun.
Hash Pipe.
Man.
That was my
Pipe, yeah.
favorite back in the day. It's got a simple bass line, but it's
up
effective.
your Weezer game.
I fucking hate Weezer. I think they're the
Dude,
trashiest band.
I love Weezer, and I'm also hate Weezer. Weezer fans hate Weezer.
I think all fans are like that.
Yeah. I'm like on Facebook, I'm part of like a Weezer fan group, and everybody just trashes on Weezer all day.
When you say Beverly Hills, I can only think of it in the tone of Smash Mouth. Up on Beverly Hills, only
Is that a deep cut from
Coughing.
Smash Mouth?
stars breaks
Do you know another Smash Mouth song? I mean, I know
Oh.
two because I know might as well be walking on the sun.
No. Hey now.
Yeah, I know that
Is
one.
it just no All Star?
I know All Star and Walking on the Sun.
Brian, help us out.
What's your favorite Smash Mouth song, Brian?
Besides All Star or Walking on the Sun.
I don't know if I know another Smash Mouth.
Five
That's the guy with the
Smash Mouth
glasses.
songs.
It's the one where
No,
he's
that-
rapping down the street with the glasses and spiked hair.
With Ben Stiller.
That's All Star, yeah.
But that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard them, but I never actually seeked out Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth just found me somehow.
Smash Mouth or Smashing Pumpkins?
I don't
God.
really like
Is that even a
Smashing
question?
Pumpkins.
Okay.
It's Smash Mouth all the way.
I will say Weezer. I never listened to them until I bought their album when I got my first job, Maladroit. And
It's a good album.
and I listened to it so much, and that's the only Weezer I really know, except for some stuff like on MTV. They played Sweater, Destroy My Sweater, Pull the String as I Walk Away. Yeah. But Maladroit is the one I really like. But Smash Mouth, I don't really know any other songs other than the hits, I guess.
Hmm.
The hits.
Maladroit. That's a pretty old one, right, Alex? That was like 19.
Maladroit's
35?
2000s.
Yeah, it's around
35.
Thought it came out around then.
It's around 2000.
Had World War II happened
Is
yet?
I think you're thinking of Old King Cole.
No, this was before.
Oh, maybe.
This is before
Yeah.
2001. So
What was your favorite, Brian? Back whenever you were in the swing scene, what was your favorite swing group?
Yeah.
Swing groups?
I didn't really
Can't say
listen to
Sinatra.
swing.
Did you go to Playground?
Count.
I liked if you're talking about swing, isn't that like the what year generation music is swing?
You know, you're there. Not act like you weren't there. In the
No,
club.
like the 20s is like the flappers.
See, you know.
He's schooling us now.
Let me take you back to the old school.
Mhm.
I used to
We
play
all
on
know
swings.
Brian's into like hardcore gangster rap.
I'm basic. I just listen to video game music, but I'm like, for nostalgia, I go back to what I listened to when I was like 14 or 15, just to get that hit of like, oh yeah,
Like Mozart.
It was there.
That would make him
But
400 years old.
like like I listened to or stuff when I was in my 20s, like Maladroit. I listened to a lot of like the Clarks. I listened to like
Beethoven.
Protein and stuff. There's just stuff that sticks in my head.
Listen to Power Man 5000.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I have an MP3 of them somewhere. I
Have an
can't
MP3 of them somewhere. What does that even mean?
It means I got on with a bunch of MP3s, but I know the band you're talking
Download.
about.
I just figured, like, I just imagined you had like a single
I do.
file,
It's
like on a
just
flash
one-
drive somewhere.
Yeah, it's
He's like,
This is
one Power Man 5000
right
song. Because I
He's like
remember my roommate at the time had it, and I
he's
got
like
it.
two decades late with that statement. I just imagine he's like emailing it to himself over the years just so he can hold on to that one
Got this off
MP3.
Napster, guys.
This is on my floppy disk.
I did use zip disks though. I don't know if you guys remember zip disks.
Thomas
Did you,
Edison invention. That one.
No, you're thinking of the light bulb.
Oh yeah,
You
you saw them all.
did you use a Walkman? You walk
I had one.
Not a walker.
now.
I had a Walkman, but it was a generic walk. It was like a Memorex one.
And you know why you're fun? Because you don't fight back.
Oh, I'm used to like the crushing weight of the world. Just I don't really care anymore.
I'm used.
When you get to
it.
my age, like everything doesn't matter anymore. You just let it roll right off you.
What age is
It's
that?
like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. He's just like, why bother?
Oh,
Falls
age.
apart. It's just...
I had to throw one in there. Back in my day, I used to listen to cavemen bang on the walls and beat up fish.
Pure acoustic.
I will say the 1971 Caveman movie starring Ringo Starr and Barbara Bach is pretty good.
You pop off when you watch that.
What was the first anime?
Probably Voltron that I watched.
Yeah, Voltron. Nice.
And then a little bit of like I think Sailor Moon and I think Dragon Ball Z, which I caught. It was the weirdest thing waking up in the morning on a Saturday and seeing something I never saw before, and they were in the middle of like the Saiyan arc, and then like Raditz is like stealing like Gohan, and then this guy jumps on a cloud and flies away. I was like, what the heck am I even watching here? There was also a Dragon Ball or Dragon Warrior anime I watched before Dragon Ball Z. It was before Dragon Warrior 3 came out, but they had the music from Dragon Warrior 3 on it. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I saw it at a party and I never saw it again. But it always stuck in my mind.
Party? What kind of party was that?
This is a cousin's birthday party.
Only the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny you say that. One of Teddy and I's first interactions was him sharing me the Dragon Quest anime. He like found the whole thing on YouTube. And I was like, oh, I'm going to watch the shit out of this. And I watched like the first episode. I was like, this is fucking bad.
Well, there's two of them, I think.
There's Yusha no Aberu, and there's the Monsters one.
This was one with a guy looked like Goku.
Yeah, it's Abel.
Yeah.
Aberu.
Yeah.
But I would love to like be forced to watch it sometime. That would be fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's cool because it's kind of cool because they use music from the games. So growing up, playing Dragon Warrior 1, they had music for that, and they had Dragon Warrior like 3, which I heard that music in that before I ever played 3, because 3 wasn't even out in the US. They just stole it from the game and put it in the anime.
3 was out in the US.
When I saw it, no, 3 came out in.
Oh, the anime was out in the US before the game was out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh.
So the first time I heard Dragon Warrior 3 music was in the anime. That one time I saw it before I actually played the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
You lost Alex at Dragon Quest.
Not in the set. I'm just thinking about the shitty Final Fantasy anime.
The one based on 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost bought that on DVD one day because there's a guy here that he owns a video store almost. It's called Video Ted's, and he sells DVDs. And I used to frequent that place a lot when I lived next to it. So he would set out weird shit for me a lot of times because he knew I just like buying weird shit. So like one time he was like, "Here's this that I got in, and I set aside for you." And I was like, I looked at the Final Fantasy anime, and I was like, eh.
So
That seems like it'd be right up your alley, dude.
Yeah, I could have. I was like, I don't know. I think I bought the Godzilla TV series instead. The Godzilla, the one based on the '90s movie.
Yes,
like cartoon.
I remember
have all that.
I remember that shit came out. I said it doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah.
Good
dude.
God.
What do you call Final Fantasy on vinyl?
I got this. I know it. It's I don't know.
Yeah, what?
Vinyl Fantasy.
Please, in the comments, let us know if you understood that joke.
I did. a phonograph.
Brian can explain it to you.
I don't want the hand crank.
Oh, did you say phonal fan?
No, he
fantasy?
said Final Fantasy. I got it.
Final Fantasy.
Oh, vinyl
Final
fantasy.
Fantasy. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I think that's a good stopping point.
Hi, everybody. I love you. Oh, just kidding. I don't love you.
Ooh.
Wow,
Taking it
Alex.
back. Taking it back. Said
Whoa,
I,
can we talk about
let
that?
I let that go too quickly. I didn't think about it. And,
Okay, but why can't you just love them in more of a generic
I have
sense?
to earn my love.
Haven't they earned it by listening and liking and subscribing? And
It's a new year.
What's the
Whoa.
conditions for 2023?
Earn my love.
we have to remember to ask Alex if he loves them at the end of the
I
year.
gave you a little piece of it. I was like, I love you. I took it back. I was like, oh, ha, ha.
Can I say it was a little harsh?
Dangle it above you. Yeah.
What would make you love someone?
If they liked this episode, left us a good question for next episode involving the eShop, subscribed, rang the notification bell, and followed us on the Discord, and also go follow Igotkings, even though he doesn't do anything on his channel now because he betrayed YouTube.
He's a disgusting Twitch streamer now.
Who the fuck streams on Twitch?
Besides everybody, Brian, what are you playing right now on Twitch?
Oh, I just got done playing a whole bunch of NES games, and then I just finished up Dragon Quest One Super Famicom this morning.
I didn't even know you were streaming on Twitch.
Yeah, it's complicated. Just my personal life was interfering with my YouTube work. Work people found my YouTube.
Oh, how do you? Okay, can you tell me more or off stream?
Yeah, I can tell you.
I shouldn't say anything damning on this episode, right?
Oh no, they won't watch this.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Damn.
Hurts a little bit. Like a little bit.
Sean episode, then I can say something damning.
Like what?
Say something damning, dude.
Did you know that Brian stick his whole foot in his mouth?
We got him right.
Often.
We got him right here on webcam.
You mean like metaphorically or physically? Because metaphorically I do it all the time, but physically I can't.
Physically, whole foot. Foot in mouth.
Can't do it physically.
Brian, what Pokemon would you put on a popsicle?
There's a correct answer to this.
Onyx.
Wrong answer.
He looks like a tube, so you could fit on a stick. Isn't he the long snake
like
one rock guy?
Straight Onyx.
He's like a snaky thing, right?
He's hard.
Like, yeah. Well, I guess it is hard. That would be problems.
Okay.
Correct answer is Pidgey.
Oh yeah, he looks fluffy. I guess.
Starting to think Snorlax.
Yeah, Snorlax would be better. Can I change my answer to
Mappers,
Snorlax?
the buttonmappers.com/store. Get your Pidgey Pops now.
Now featuring Snorlax Pops. Right up the ass.
There you go. Okay, bye. Brian, it's been an absolute pleasure. I am about to...
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them Button Mappers.